All right, let's move on from that and bring you some more news. Did you know that every hour in India, 3 people are murdered, 3 women or girls are raped, and nearly 10 people fall victim to cybercrimes? We are talking online scams, threats, and even harassment. These aren't just numbers, this is the reality, and it's crystal clear in the Crime Records Bureau report, the Crime in India 2023 report. Remember, they run late, they're only calculating 2 years behind as of now, so you can only imagine what the numbers would be like at the moment. It's finally released, the National Crime Records Bureau, after months of delay, and the report, considered the most comprehensive snapshot of India's law and order situation, does more than just tally cases. It mirrors how cybercrime is rewriting the meaning of safety in the digital age. In 2023, according to the report, cybercrime cases jumped 31% to over 86,000. That's nearly 10 cases every hour. The highest cybercrime case, nearly 22,000 in the year, were reported from the state of Karnataka, followed by Telangana, where just weeks ago, a 76-year-old retired doctor died of heart attack, remember, after being the victim of digital arrest. We had covered that story right here on 5 Live. Now, the NCRB also says better reporting and easier FIR access have led to increase in the case numbers. But make no mistake, cybercrime in India is exploding, and the rapid rise of digital offences underscores the latest and the biggest challenge for India's law and order, which is largely just playing catch-up, never ahead of the curve. Now, as per the NCRB report, cybercrime is the fastest growing category of crime in India, and this number should shock you. Nearly 70% of the cases of cyber fraud are the ones in which click, scam, and gone. All your life savings are vanished in seconds. But it's also not just money. Thousands of other cases are of online sexual exploitation, stolen intimate photos, blackmail, fake job offers, and online stalking too. Crimes that leave victims financially trapped, emotionally scarred, and threats that haunt them 24/7. A lot of them don't even get reported. Remember, these are just the official figures. The digital world has become a new battleground, but the laws and police can't keep up because online criminals are faster, smarter, harder to catch. So, NCRB's latest report there isn't just data, it's a warning sign. And cybercrime is no longer just a threat, it's a fast-growing crime in India. We constantly keep telling you here that you've got to stay alert, you've got to stay skeptical of anything that is too good to be true, and most of all, do not stay silent. Talk about it, report it. If you have nothing to be scared of, trust the authorities that they will try and get to the bottom of it. Well, those are the figures right now, but let's quickly cut across to our expert on the story. Jitin Jain is with us. He's a cybersecurity expert. Jitin and I have spoken for years now, talking about cybersecurity. For years, we've been talking about it. This is the biggest sort of scam that faces us. It's the biggest problem that we face online. It impacts everybody. Doesn't matter the gender, doesn't matter the size of your bank account, doesn't even matter which city you are from. It's sort of everywhere. Doesn't matter if you're a banker, doesn't matter if you're a politician, doesn't matter even if you're a journalist. It really is getting after anybody and everybody. So Jitin, as we look at these numbers, what is your initial understanding? One thing is very, very clear, that the highest growth in any kind of crime in India has come in cybercrime. But the minute I say that figure, the police is going to say that's only because reporting has gone up. This is exactly what happened post Nirbhaya on rape cases, when they said now people are talking more about it, so please don't blame us. It's just that people are reporting more. That's why the statistic has gone up. This is the play of numbers. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree, because you see, the rise in the number of reported cases should be welcome, because you would have seen in last decade or so, first until up to 2013-14, police officials were hesitant to, receive any cyber cases. Because they lack the capacity to investigate. They have no idea how to seize and do the forensic of devices, how to carry out investigations. Forget about prosecution, or even then accused being sent to behind bars. So, with the large training modules which have been imparted to police personnel across India, You now see in last 4 or 5 years that especially in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, or yeah, and South Indian states like Karnataka and Hyderabad, police have become more tech savvy. They are more inclined to register cases. They try and investigate even if they're not able to prosecute, but they do try and investigate and recover your money. But the
Hmm.
problem is, see, this whole digitalization of our society and economy post COVID has become a double-edged sword. On
Hmm.
one hand, Jan accounts, Aadhaar card, Aadhaar email, KYCs, the largest penetration of mobile phones in any society, which is in India, availability of high-speed internet has, given such, great pleasures to our society. We can do remote education. We can, do all these subsidy applications online. Corruption has gone down.
Hmm.
With transparency for tenders, everything
Hmm.
has, the public service
Hmm.
delivery has essentially gone in 100% automated online mode. But what
Hmm.
has happened with more and more people logging in on the online devices for the first time in their lives,
Hmm.
especially senior citizens, people living in remote areas who may have wealth but may not have cyber hygiene education. They are
Hmm.
falling prey to scams every day. Now, there are three kind of
Yeah.
scams. The
Hmm.
92% of 94% of any kind of cybercrime which is reported is financial frauds, OTP frauds,
Hmm.
Ponzi
70%
scheme.
actually according to NCRB, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the recorded data is always 10% of what the actual crimes
Yeah.
are,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they are the people who are able to report. We are talking about the people who do not even know where the police station is. So,
Hmm.
in my, the studies we have spoken to, almost around 94-95% cases are of financial frauds.
Hmm.
So those 95%, 94% do not find any, final conclusion because you're not able to prosecute or find that, accused. So only 1% remains solved. And out of that 1%, there is actually any prosecution and punishment. So this is the figure.
Hmm.
Now, 94%, Sonal, you will be shocked to know 87 to 88% are scams which are less than 5,000 rupees. Now, when you
Hmm.
scam a person, for a rich man, like, some people use con 1 or 2 lakhs, it is just a setback in his life or a loss. When you
Hmm.
steal 5-10,000 rupees from a poor farmer in a village, there
Hmm.
is so many sacrifices. You're not stealing money, you're stealing dreams,
Yeah.
future. And they are the people who do not even know how to write a complaint, forget about filing an FIR. They do not know how to lodge a complaint in 1930.
Hmm.
These people are
Hmm.
so, and they don't report, they just lose the entire trust in the digital ecosystem, the dignity, and their lifetime savings.
But
So
Jitin, I
these are
have
the
last few minutes, so I want to ask you this.
last
On
two
one
questions.
hand, when we look at this, the most important here is that we now have, when you call someone, they tell you about fraud par mat pheliye. You have connections now. Airtel, for example, which is coming out and say that we will call it a scam alert. You have banks who are now saying we've enrolled people and we
Both
will
things are
not allow
happening.
all of this. But none of this is really working. We're always playing catch up.
All of this works for rich people, not for 3,000 rupees poor farmer who's losing. So this is one. Second, obviously, if you look at 1930 helpline, 22 lakh complaints. Tell me how many people are manning that helpline? Not even 1,000. That's the problem. Two, uh, society is young. You're falling for this clickbait, this extortion scams. You randomly get a call from beautiful girls, exposing you to nudity, and then they
Honey
take
trap.
photos or screenshot of you in an intimate position or in a nude position. Then they
Hmm.
blackmail you. Now,
Hmm.
blackmail does not end with money. It
Hmm.
carries on as a perpetual extortion because you are then scared to report because you want to save image in society, family, and friends. So the bigger the and more dangerous the scam, there is less likelihood of it getting reported. And
Hmm.
people commit suicides, people end up giving life savings. I have known people in friends and family circle who have given lakhs of rupees because somebody
Hmm.
sitting in Pakistan conned them into some digital arrest, this digital
Hmm.
fake courier scams. And
Hmm.
then, so this extortion and this digital arrest scams are now on the rise, and they are very, very
Hmm.
dangerous because they wipe you off your entire dignity, life savings. And I think we
Yeah.
as a society are completely struggling to catch hold of these
Hmm.
people who are operating out of our country. So I think we
Hmm.
need to spend heavily on digital cyber education for our society. We need to
Hmm.
empower our police at a at a
Yes.
at a public scale.
Yes, we should. And I think what's required also is the fact that we can't let everybody fend for themselves, because this is not a problem that can be
Maybe
tackled
next
by
India Today
individuals.
conclave should also be on cyber. Should have a module on cyber like you do on health and
Very
wellness.
good idea. I will take it up with the management, and I think that's a great one. We should do a entire conclave only on cyber fraud and cybercrime. On that lovely sort of advice that we've got from Jitin, let's show you another flip side of digital extortion. In this new age of digital extortion, companies are also bearing the brunt, from beer and cars to clothes and flights also. Yes, I'm still talking about cyber attacks and sort of accelerating at an unprecedented pace that they are. They're hitting the biggest names in business, not just in money, but in consumer trust as well. Don't believe me? Well, look at this report and then you will.
Japanese beer giant Asahi has been forced to halt production at multiple plants after a cyber attack crippled its systems. From beer to whiskey to soft drinks, the company's order processing, shipping, and even call centers are down, with no clarity on when operations can resume. It's the latest in a growing wave. Earlier this month, Britain's biggest car maker, Jaguar Land Rover, shut down all 3 factories after a cyber breach. The Tata-owned luxury automaker, which makes about 1,000 cars a day, has been losing nearly £50 million a week as suppliers struggle and thousands of staff remain idle. Retail giants have not been spared either. Marks & Spencer, one of Britain's most recognised names, reported losses of around £300 million after a damaging cyber attack earlier this year. From retailers to airlines, cyber criminals are striking high-profile targets across sectors, disrupting operations and shaking consumer confidence.
Think of it like a digital break-in. Instead of a burglar entering your house, it's someone getting into a company's network. The attacks can range from phishing emails trying to trick someone into revealing passwords, or to ransomware attacks that lock up all the files on a computer system until a payment is made.
Security experts warn the threat is global, costing over $20 billion a day. Attacks aren't just locking up files, they are stealing sensitive data and using it for extortion.
More and more, we're seeing this disturbing trend where they're shutting down operations by deleting or otherwise getting into our applications. And so it's not just ransomware, but it's extortion, where they use that access, the locked up files, the information that they've stolen, and they hold that above us and they say, hey, if you don't pay us, we're going to leak your sensitive private information, and we're not going to get out of your network, and we're not going to let you unlock these files.
For businesses, the risks go beyond downtime. Disrupted sales, damaged customer trust, regulatory penalties, and shareholder lawsuits all add up.
Hackers are getting in because of simple mistakes where companies simply aren't locking the front door or closing the windows. And what I mean by that is remote access, right? We all set up remote access to facilitate our employees to come in and connect from home while they're on the road, et cetera. Too often, companies aren't securing this, which is creating that entry point for the attackers.
And now, attackers are arming themselves with artificial intelligence, from deepfake videos to faster phishing campaigns.
The good news here is that we're also seeing a sea change on the defense side, where there is technology that's bringing in AI capability that's allowing defenders to see the signal and the noise. So to look at more information and have better visibility across the network, but see the threat in real time and take action faster.
From beer and cars to clothes and flights, cyber attacks are accelerating at an unprecedented pace, hitting the biggest names in business. A new age of digital extortion, where the cost is counted not just in money, but in consumer trust. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.